I was thinking today how, we read books about this stuff, and uh, the masters say in the books, you are not what you experience, and you cannot be what you experience. In a way, that's you can concept. I can conceptually get that. Uh, it's not really too. Sometimes I haven't connected with that conceptually, but it's not really that hard to get that conceptually. Uh, I guess I don't know, some people probably, if you told them that aren't experienced with this kind of teachings, wouldn't really be able to understand what you're talking, even get any kind of inkling of what that would mean. But maybe they would. Some people probably would, depending on the person, I suppose. But
Remember, the books are the instructions that you're supposed to use. It's the instruction manual that you wrote to yourself. So in the next moment when something happens, you say, oh yeah, it's not reality, it's illusion. But instead, you don't want to form an I am somebody else that says, oh my God, this thing's happening. This is not good. And, all the spiritual books, like Maharaj says, point to one thing. Accept your selfless self. There's no God, no Brahman, no Atman, no Paramatman, no Master. Nothing is there. Therefore, whatever you're thinking that you're going through can't be. And when you're reading the spiritual books, it's as if you are sitting next to yourself saying, this is what you do. If you do this, all will be well. The next time you go through some kind of something that you're thinking is real, remember it's all illusion. It's an instruction manual to your own selfless self. That's what all the spiritual books are. The Selfless Self book, I Am That. All of these are instruction manuals from the selfless self to the selfless self for itself. You just have to impress it and act on it. Whatever, like I think Nisargadatta Maharaj says, whatever you've understood, act on that in the very next moment. Bring that into your experience. I think Ramakant Maharaj says, absorb whatever you've learned, whatever bookish knowledge you have, absorb that. Absorb it how? In the next moment, in the next step. You take one step, the master takes the other, until you're stepping forward and you know that everything is now your reality. Like you're living the fact that the world is absolutely illusion. I'm totally, completely unconcerned with it. I have no sense of this at all. It's like I'm just kind of moving about and scenes are happening, but there's no more impression of body that has a mind, ego, intellect flowing through that's believed in. There's no more thought process of gathering this information together and saying, this happened, I don't want this to happen again, or I do want this to happen again, or I wonder what's going to happen next. All of that is just the illusion. And the spiritual books are the instruction manual.
The other day I was driving, listening to the bhajans, and all of a sudden I had this real flash. What is formless cannot think, and it has no memories. And then later I was eating, and I said, what is formless cannot eat neither. I don't know, it was just really kind of like very clear. And getting to Keith's point, Keith, for a while it stayed there, that sort of kind of like realization, basically. And then, slowly it kind of, like you fall back into the old pattern or whatever, or not so much pattern, it's just that other things come in and you get involved in different areas or doing different things and so forth. But I didn't really care, I didn't really care whether it stayed or not, just let it, if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there, basically. Not trying to hold on to that kind of thing,
right.
Yeah, because the one that's holding on to the experience is supposed to be being erased slowly, silently, and permanently, because that's the reality. Your reality of the selfless self experiencing yourself. Experience your selfless self, not this little self with all the body knowledge and ideas and thoughts and concepts.
Right. It was the moment of the self experiencing itself.
Exactly.
That was it.
Selfless self.
Yeah. And that's totally uncontrollable.
Exactly.
It's like dynamite.
Slowly, silently, permanently. Slowly, silently, permanently. This I am somebody else, which is the only, quote, block between you and your own self, is being slowly, silently, and permanently removed. And in everyday experiences, when it starts to get turned up and a person starts to appear before you, slowly, silently, permanently erase that. It's just I think we talked about before, and Maharaj uses the spiritual broom. You keep sweeping, the door opens, blows more leaves, you keep sweeping, door opens, a little bit more leaves come in, you keep sweeping. You just keep sweeping. Eventually your floor is completely clean. All the ash that was covering the fire that you are is removed, and the fire is burning bright. The only thing that's separating you from yourself is an idea and belief in this I am somebody else, that the sense of presence is more than just the sense of presence. It's a body, it's a mind, it's an ego, it's an intellect, and it's not true. All this is appearing on your spontaneous presence.